Howdy folks, my name is Caleb and this is my recently completed micro camper. It's built on the Ford Connect platform. It's a 2016 with a fresh build, so let's call it a new camper. I'm going to give you a little walkthrough and we're going to kind of go through the ins and outs of this van. It's a little bit different than the last high roof ProMaster, the boogie van that I built, and this one here is set up for cheap travel, covering long distances, car-like maneuverability. You can park anywhere. It still has all the amenities that the old van had, just without the ability to stand up straight inside. So anyways, let's have a little walkthrough and we'll check it out. First thing you're going to see when you open the door is this hot water heater. It's an on-demand hot water heater. What it runs on are these small little propane bottles. It works way better than the old electric one that I had in my boogie van, the ProMaster. Keeps up no problem. So you can see it's pretty cozy in here. This van works best for a single traveler. It's not that you can't bring two people, it's just it's going to be a little bit more squishy. There's not quite as much room in here if you have to change or prep food. Totally doable, and there's plenty of people that do it. But the way that I built this van was for one very adventurous person to be able to cover a lot of distance, spend minimal amounts on fuel, be able to park anywhere you want, and still have all of the amenities that a full-size van has. So let's go through some of the amenities. All right, so over here we have the main control area. We've got a built-in speaker, all the main switches, our solar controller. We've got a temperature gauge for outside-inside temperature. We've got an inverter. We've also got the light control for the dimmer, which is pretty important. I really like these dimmers because it really allows you to set the mood. Right? Cool. Down here is the display for what the fridge is doing. I can turn the fridge on, I can turn it off, I can put it in economy mode. I can also monitor the temperature and adjust the temperature within the fridge digitally, which is really nice compared to the old analog adjustment in the old fridge that I had. This fridge is a much better fridge than what I was used to. Because it is horizontal, it allows a better efficiency essentially, because the cold air doesn't escape when you open the door like a vertical fridge does. So it also has the option to be a freezer as well. This is one of the best upgrades that I've made to this van in comparison to the old van. So let's talk about what we got going on over here. We've got the main lights, we've got auxiliary lights, we've got the LED, which is the roof lighting, we've got the fan, we've got the tunes master switch, and we've got the water pump. Down here, we've got a Renogy Adventurer solar charge controller. I've got two 100-watt panels on the roof for a total of 200 watts. They are fed into this controller, and then this monitors the voltage as well as distributes the power from the solar into my battery. Over here, we've got our single 120-volt outlet. I don't really have many uses for that. Plug in the odd thing in, and it's fed by a 600-watt inverter. That's going to take care of most of your needs. Over here, we've obviously got our water, which is really important. Can get some pretty good flow out of there. Okay, let's talk about storage. We've got a couple of overhead bins up here with a bit of a lip, so nothing can come flying out. That way you can put your cameras and any of your electronics up here and charge them using our USB outlets that are on this panel. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 USB plugs, so lots of charging options. Up here you're going to store your cups, your bowls, and your plates. Not too many, because there's only going to be likely 1 or 2 of you traveling in here. Cutlery and toiletries will be separated by a couple of Tupperware containers of your choice, whatever. But I find that this is the best spot for that because it's nice and close, and those are things you commonly need. Down here is where our water pump is and our water storage. Great place for your pots and pans underneath there, as well as some groceries. A couple of vent holes there to dissipate the heat created by the fridge. And you might be asking yourself, how much water storage do we have? We have 100 liters of water storage. That's plenty enough for about 2 weeks without getting water from anywhere. So huge water storage. I've never seen that much in a micro camper ever. Over here, we've got a couple of other bins. These are great for maybe stuffing your puffy jacket if it's getting warm out. Some clothes that you might be using periodically throughout the day. Just a great place to just kind of cram stuff. And then a built-in cool little speaker enclosure just to give a little feng shui, because you know what? It's all about the feng shui. All right, we need to have a shower. How are we going to accomplish that? Very easy. Open your doors. Take this trusty little hand towel, drape it there. Pull your shower nozzle out, and away you go. Pretty simple. When you're done, simply put that back, and you're all nice and clean. Back here, we've got the water fill line. So I want to show you one of the coolest features of this van. It's the bed. Now, it's not just any average bed. It's a really cool bed because you don't have to set it up. We're ready to get to bed. I reach back, and out comes the bed. You can operate this from inside as well as outside, but the whole point of it is that you don't have to set your bed up. It's really annoying when you can't move around in your van because it is as small as it is, but what is going to make that a lot easier is if you don't have to set up the bed. You hit one button and it goes into its final form. Isn't that sick? I think it's sick. So we also have storage underneath here. This is a bit of a hidden storage. Put whatever you want down in there. One of the most important features that I tried to integrate into this build was the fact that I still want to have a toilet. Under here, we have exactly that. You know why? Because everybody poops. We don't want to be looking for a place to take a shit. We just want to do it and get it out of the way. So there's your toilet. It's super easy to clean. It's easy to dump. It's sanitary. It doesn't stink, provided you have the proper chemical in it. You gotta have a toilet. You just gotta have one. So there it is. The left side of the van. On this side of the van, we have a couple of key features. We've got some straight through storage. You can put your shoes, your lawn chairs. It's fairly long. You've got about 4 feet of storage there. We can access our clothes, whatever you plan to store underneath here, and that's accessible from both sides. Storing your bedding in here, usually a sleeping bag as well as your pillow. You can keep some clothes. I generally keep the clothes in like a stuff sack, and then gear storage can go over there. We also have our switch that allows us to convert our couch into the bed that we mentioned before. Down here is a cover for our auxiliary battery. And then down here, this is where most of the electrical comes to. Smaller, more intricate switch wiring is housed in the main control panel. Down here, I've built this so that we can access our main breakers. We can access a battery isolator. What this battery isolator does is when I'm driving, the vehicle alternator will charge my auxiliary battery bank. It was the same isolator I had installed in the last van. It works awesome. 600 watt inverter down in the bottom here. Everything is a little bit tight, and that's how it's gonna be because it's a very small van. We're in the driver's cockpit now. Got a little armrest here, power locks, power windows, cruise control, all the basic amenities that you're gonna want in a vehicle. This seat is raised 3.5 inches. And the reason I did that is because we've got a subwoofer and an amp underneath there. We need to be able to jam out some tunes. Another cool feature about this van is the fact that the stereo can stay on without the vehicle running. You can see I've got the keys out right now. I can still control the volume from the steering wheel. Because what I've done is I've rewired this system so that I can use the solar or the battery backup power to control the deck. The factory storage isn't too bad up here actually. We've got a decent bin up here. We can store a few things. Up here we've got a couple of key features. We've got the roof rack that I welded. It's made out of 1-inch steel, and then I took it to a professional powder coating company and had it powder coated, and it is bulletproof. So when you do decide on the type of roof rack or a bin that you want to go with, it will mount securely to this. You don't have to worry about scratching it, and it'll hold up really well and extremely strong. So don't be afraid to throw a bit of weight at it. Back here, a couple of solar panels. These are our 100-watt Renogy solar panels, and they are actually bolted right into this frame through threaded inserts, so they're not going anywhere. Another feature that is commonly overlooked is the heavy-duty receiver. This is a class 3 receiver, so it'll accept up to 800-pound tongue weight rather than your typical 500 class 2. Why I went with this? So I can carry a motorcycle. You can carry a motorcycle on the back of this little van. It can't be a big one, but 400 pounds or less, that accepts most of your enduro bikes. Sweet. So this concludes the tour of my brand new micro camper. This van is now for sale. Once again, it was built on a 2016 Ford Connect platform with 56,000 kilometers on it. I would never waste all that time, energy, and money doing a build out on a platform that I didn't think was worthy. This is a reliable van. Reach out to me if you have any questions or comments or even concerns about your own build or even van life in itself. There's a lot of unknowns, and I have generally come across most of them in the 2 years that I spent in my van. Thank you for watching, and peace.